Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, and welcome to Ballonlea City, where today we have the Ballonlea Angels hosting the Veilstone combat. Combat today going to be starting out with Mythicals and Komo. Komo being a pseudo-legendary, whereas Weezing and Carbink are going to start out for the Ballonlea Angels. And Weezing has that Misty Surge ability, so Misty Terrain is going to cover the field, giving a boost to the Fairy type attacks, and it also won't help Komo and its Dragon typing. Now let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win today. The 15th place Ballonlea Angels or the 13th place Veilstone combat. Neither team is having a great season so far, so they definitely want to win today. But Heatwave is going to be coming from Mythicals to start off this battle. It's going to hit both Carbink and Weezing, being not very effective there on Carbink. Como is going to be on second, so speed advantage goes to Veilstone combat. And it's going to go with a Roar of Time, which doesn't affect Weezing because it's Dragon type move, and the Fairy types are all immune to Dragon type attacks. So that does not help Como whatsoever. But we're going to get a Skull Bash prepared by Weezing. It's going to tuck its head and boost its defenses this time. We're going to see that Skull Bash hit in the next turn. As we get a Shadow Bone coming from Carbink. Carbink straight away targets the pseudo-legendary. Now, Carbink does not have good attack stats, but it was actually not a bad hit there on Komohara, I will say. Now, as always, this is a 6-on-6 Metronome battle, and if we hit the 20-minute time limit, we will go into single battle overtime. Mythicals sets up an Electro Web, again hitting both Carbink and Weezing. It's actually a very good play there by Mythicals, targeting both Pokemon at the same time, and already Weezing is down into the yellow as both Pokemon have their stats lowered. Komo now is going to go with Amnesia, so instead of going for an offensive move, it's going to boost its defenses on this turn. There's that special defense getting a good boost, as Weezing goes with that Skull Bash, targeting Komo. So it looks like the Ballonlea Angels at the moment are targeting the pseudo-legendary, trying to get it off the field. We get a Power Trip now coming from Carbink. Again, hits Komo, takes it down into the yellow, but only just, barely does anything whatsoever. Now, Veilstone combat need to take advantage of the speed that they have over the Ballonlea Angels right now. Mancho's going to go with a Leech Seed. It's going to plant those seeds onto Carbink, so it'll be taking its health from Carbink, and Mancho will be restoring its own health with that between turns. Grass Knot now comes from Komo, also targeting Carbink with a Grass type move. And it is super effective, but because Carbink's so light, it does barely any damage. Grass Knot being stronger, the heavier the Pokemon is. Weezing goes with a Powder Snow, and it hits both Mythicals and Komo. Being super effective on Komo, but still didn't do a great deal of damage with that move. Now we're going to get a Leaf Tornado coming from Carbink. Our third Grass type move of this turn, and this time going for Mythicals with a critical hit. Almost gets it down into the yellow, but Mythicals stands strong as it has its accuracy lowered. Now Carbink has its health taken by that Leech Seed, and it goes over to Mythicals, who gets the health restoration from that move. Now both teams have a 5-7 record, so they have definitely lost more games than they've won, but they've been very close on numerous occasions, both teams. So they just need to get that final step where they can get the victory as Mythicals sets up with a laser focus. Komo hasn't taken advantage of its pseudo-legendary status yet, but it's going to go with a Stomping Tantrum. Going for Carbink, and Carbink holds on. Wow, that super effective move came so close to eliminating Carbink there. So even with its massive defenses, Carbink looks like it is running out of time, especially with that Leech Seed. Surely that should finish it off at the end of the turn. But first we're going to get a Metal Burst coming from Carbink. Goes for Komo with that move, and it eliminates Komo. Carbink has taken down the pseudo-legendary. Unbelievable, as that Leech Seed takes the last of Carbink's health and gives it to Mythicals. So Komo and Carbink have both been eliminated, but what a hit by Carbink onto Komo. Fantastic there. Taking down the pseudo-legendary before itself is eliminated. Now we have Surf Edge coming out for the Veilstone combat, and the Alolan form of Ninetale is coming out for the Ballonlea Angels, as its Snow Warning ability will cause hail to start falling. Now everyone on the field except for Ninetales will be taking damage from that hail in between turns, even Weezing its own teammate. Ninetales is now the quickest Pokemon on the field, just a little bit quicker than Mythicals. It's going to go with the Zen Headbutt. This will be super effective on Mythicals. And almost gets the job done with that super effective hit. Oh man, Mythicals just hanging in there as we get a withdrawal from Mythicals, which is going to boost its defenses, which really is of no use to it whatsoever, because if that hail hits it at the end of this turn, you got to think Mythicals will be eliminated. Surf Edge now. It's going to go with a Magnet Rise, so it's going to lift itself due to electromagnetism. So Wheezing has an opportunity to actually finish off my Enchant before the Hail even does. It goes with an Encore instead, but that will fail. And here it is, that Hail giving damage out. My Enchant is eliminated as the Ballonlea Angels take the lead. Surf Edge takes its first damage of this matchup, and Wheezing takes it as well. That would be the part where Ninetales would not be feeling good about doing damage to its own teammate. We'll be having the fourth Pokemon for the Veilstone combat now come out. And it's the Hoenn starter, Blaziken. Blaziken, who was drafted second for the Veilstone combat, actually hasn't had a great season so far. It really needs to capitalize on its amazing stats. It is a very good offensive Pokemon, both in the attack and special attack. As Ninetales hits Surf Edge, that move doesn't do a great deal of damage, however. Now Blaziken with its opportunities, it's going to go with an Iron Defense, so it's going to boost its defenses. Again, not taking advantage of its impressive offensive stats. Surf Edge now. The Veilstone combat are a very physical attacking team, but instead goes with a Growl, so instead it's just looking to lower the stats there of Ninetales and Wheezing, lowering both of their attack stats. Whereas the Veilstone combat are very physically offensive. The Ballonlea Angels are very specially based, both in special attack and special defense. That's where they shine as we get Wheezing going with an Aura Sphere. It's going to hit Blaziken. It's a decent hit on the Fighting Fire type, who takes damage now from the Hail as well. That Hail is buffeting everyone on the field but Ninetales. Ninetales now in an Ice type as well. Goes with the Acupressure. Using that Acupressure on Wheezing there, so boosting Wheezing's accuracy. So if Wheezing can go for a lower accuracy move and take advantage of that boost as we get an Acid coming from Blaziken. Hits both Wheezing and Ninetales with that super effective hit. Actually takes Wheezing down into the red. Surf Edge goes with a Fell Stinger. Targets Ninetales with this move. Isn't very effective though. Wheezing now. It's going to go with a Blast Burn. Now it needs to target Surf Edge with this move, but instead goes for Blaziken, but still does more damage than I would have expected with that not very effective hit. Blaziken is now taken down into the yellow. And again, Blaziken not taking advantage of its impressive stats. It really needs to, as Wheezing is still just hanging in there as it is in the red. Ninetales now. Again, still with that speed advantage, has that 109 base speed, and it's going to go with a Mega Kick. Targets Surf Edge with that move, gets Surf Edge down into the yellow. Blaziken. It's going to go with a Fire Punch. Now, this is what it needs to do. Takes advantage of its Fire typing and eliminates Wheezing. Wheezing has been taken down, and it's all level on the battlefield now. Surf Edge could capitalize and solely focus on Ninetales with this time, but instead it's going to go with a Noble Roar. So here we see Ninetales having its attack stats lowered as well as its special attack, as Blaziken and Surf Edge take more damage from that Hail. And the fourth Pokemon for the Ballonlea Angels is the Evolution Sylveon. Sylveon was drafted third under the Ballonlea Angels. Has that amazing special defense of 130, as we're going to get a Poltergeist from Ninetales, but Blaziken avoids that attack. So Blaziken has an opportunity to capitalize here. It's going to go with a Water Pledge. And this time it goes for Ninetales and takes Ninetales down into the yellow. Surf Edge could follow it up here. And it's going to go with a No Retreat, a signature move of Phalanx, another fighting type Pokemon. As we see Surf Edge boost every single one of its stats, lifting its attack, defense, special defense, and its speed, so everything but the HP. But no, it can no longer escape, but nobody's escaping from the Elite Challenge League matchups. They will battle until the finish. So we're getting a Aurora Veil coming from Sylveon. It's a very beautiful move there, performed by Sylveon, making the team stronger against physical and special type attacks. That Hail will clear up, and the electromagnetism that Surf Edge had has worn off. So we're back to a normal playing field now. So Ninetales is going to go with a multi-attack. Continuing to target Surf Edge. Surf Edge still standing strong, and it has its chance to respond now with all those boosted stats, and it goes with a Dragon Claw, which won't affect anyone on the Ballonlea Angels. Again, they are immune to Dragon type attacks, But the Darkest Lariat now coming from Blaziken. Ninetales is taken down into the red with that not very effective move, a signature move of a fellow fire starter Pokemon. With that Shell Smash now coming from Sylveon, so it's going to lower its defenses and boost its attack stats and its speed. See if Sylveon or Surfetch can actually capitalize on their well boosted stats. Sylveon now being the quickest Pokemon on the field thanks to its speed boost. It's going to go with a high jump kick. Targeting Blaziken, and it'll finish it off. So Blaziken has been taken down. And again, I have to say, I'm kind of disappointed with how Blaziken's performed in this matchup. Yes, it got the elimination on Weezing, but still feels like it hasn't done a great deal. Ninetales is going to go with a Blast Burn. Targeting Surfetch, and Surfetch is eliminated as well. So the Ballonlea Angels have just taken a 2 Pokemon lead, with Sylveon and Ninetales performing very well. So the last 2 Pokemon for the Veilstone combat will be coming out shortly. They need this time to regroup as we get Persimmon coming out for the Veilstone combat. And it's going to be joined by the Poison Fighting type Toxicroak. And Toxicroak with its Poison typing could actually use that to its advantage, as the Ballonlea Angels are very weak to Poison type attacks. Get that Hone Claws from Sylveon. So it's going to boost its attack and accuracy. So that attack stat is going up even more. Ninetales has to recharge after that Blast Burn. So this gives Toxicroak an opportunity to capitalize, and it's going to go with a Power Trip. Targeting Sylveon here. So Sylveon's going to take its first damage of the matchup with that not very effective move. It does very minimal damage. You're going to see a Waterfall coming from Persimmon. And it goes for Ninetales and finishes it off. So Ninetales has been eliminated. That's fantastic first move there performed by Persimmon. We're going to have Hatterene come out for the Ballonlea Angels, and Hatterene has that Psychic typing as well, which, as we know, the Veilstone combat are very weak to, especially Toxicroak, that would do huge damage. Sylveon's going to go with an Anchor Shot. Targeting Toxicroak with that move, and a very good hit, taking advantage of those huge stat boosts. Toxicroak's taken down into the yellow. Toxicroak's going to respond with a Force Palm. And it hits Hatterene. That move is not very effective. Hatterene's standing strong there. Simeon's going to follow it up with an Aqua Tail. It's also going for Hatterene, and that does much more damage. Hatterene now, one of the slowest Pokemon in the Elite Challenge League. It is the slowest Pokemon on the Ballonlea Angels, and it goes with a lick onto Toxicroak, taking it down into the red, as the Aurora Veil will wear off for the Ballonlea Angels. Sylveon with its Metronome setup goes with a conversion too, so we'll be changing its typing here. It's going to change its type to a Grass type. Toxicroak's going to go with a Blast Burn. If it goes for Sylveon now, that'll be super effective, but instead it goes for Hatterene. A massive hit takes Hatterene down into the red, but you have to wonder if it should have taken advantage of Sylveon now being a Grass type Pokemon. I'm going to get a Smackdown coming from Persimmon. Persimmon lays the Smackdown on Hatterene and has been eliminated. So now the Veilstone combat have evened things up with the Ballonlea Angels, as they send out their last Pokemon, being Alcremie. Alcremie being very deceptive with its special attack being 110. So do not underestimate Alcremie when it comes to offensive moves. We're going to get a Horn Leech now coming from Sylveon. And this will finish Toxicroak off. Now don't forget, Sylveon has those massive stat boosts, and it's going to restore its health there, taking itself back to 100%. Toxicroak has been taken down, and Persimmon with its Receiver ability is going to receive the Dry Skin from Toxicroak. Persimmon is the last remaining Pokemon for the Veilstone combat. That Guard Swap from Persimmon now. Targeting Sylveon, so it's all the stat changes switched with defense and special defense. But Alcremie goes with Non-Core, that will fail. Sylveon's still with that massive speed boost, massive attack boost. So everyone on the field at the moment is at 100%. Tail Slap now coming from Sylveon. This should be super effective. Huge with the first hit on Persimmon. And that second hit takes Persimmon down. It's a 2-hit wonder. As Sylveon gets the victory for the Veilstone combat. A massive win for the Ballonlea Angels. This is what they need. They have been very inconsistent with their victory. Usually ending up being very close battles, even the same for the Veilstone combat. But today, the Ballonlea Angels take advantage of that. And seriously, that elimination by Carbink right at the start of the matchup, awesome to take down the pseudo legendary. Very well performed. But the Ballonlea Angels need to continue this sort of matchup. And next week, they're going to go to Goldenrod City and face the Goldenrod Giants. So we'll find out then if they can get their second win in a row. Whereas the Veilstone combat, again, being very inconsistent, just like the Ballonlea Angels. And today, at least them losing. Whereas next week, they'll be hosting the Saffron Psychics in Veilstone City. And there's been a big history of the Psychic and Fighting types dating all the way back to when there were 2 gyms in Saffron City. So we'll find out next week if Veilstone Combat can come out with a victory there, because they desperately need it. It was very well performed. Toxicroak and Persimmon actually made for a good team. But again, Sylveon with its massive stat boost just performed very well in this matchup. And it got the job done for the Ballonlea Angels. Very well performed by the Evolution. Getting that tail slap with, as I said, the 2-hit wonder. A double strike from one move, taking the Persimmon. But Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on build. And if you enjoyed what you saw, leave a like, share, subscribe. But more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I will speak to you next time.